Hi, this is Chris Moses with GospelProgressions.com, and today I have here Mr. Mark Elliott on bass, and he's going to talk about ghost notes. So, Mark, tell us about ghost notes.
Basically, ghost notes on the bass. What it is, it's a note on the bass that's not audible, so it's almost like a thud, and it gives your bass line a certain feel. It's not something that you do all the time, but there are times that you can actually interject it to get from one note to the other. It depends on the drummer that you're playing with, how rhythmic the song is, or even, again, you'll hear me talk about throughout these series about feel, because feel is so important. It's something that I guess I learned basically the hard way, not having any formal training or anything, but learning how, us that are older and before YouTube learned was the hard way, just on tapes and going around and asking questions and not getting an answer because it was tabooed to tell your stuff, where now today everybody tells everything for the most part. And so it was just a lot of observation, but learning the hard way was that the feel was the most important part of playing, and that the feel had to be correct, because I would notice that I would play the correct notes. Like, for instance, to give you an example, I'm sure a lot of us have tried to learn a certain bass player's tune or bass line, and we wondered, man, we know the notes, but we still don't sound like them. And a lot of that has to do because of the feel that they're interjecting. And that's just something that you cannot teach. You really can't teach feel. You can try to explain it, but you can't teach it. And so today, what we're going to teach is just a ghost note. And then you'll, through observation of looking at others and listening to the radio and CDs and different styles of music, you'll hear how other bass players and other musicians interject the feel with ghost notes, because other instruments can imply that as well. Because again, a ghost note is not an audible note, and so drummers and percussive instruments are very good at that, because again, they're more percussive, a thud, where the drums can be tuned to a pitch, but it's not like they're tuned to 12 different pitches.
They're non-pitched instruments.
Right. So again, it's more of a thud, and so you're just implying those things in your bass line, and it give your sound a little better feel. So for instance, again, throughout this series, you're going to see a lot. We'll be talking about simplicity and less is more, but not less is more in the sense of being boring. We're talking about less is more in the sense of context of the song, of the band, and your role, and working with less but making more out of it. So today we'll be in the key of C, C major, simple thing, and we'll just come up with a little simple groove on the one. We're not even gonna put in any other notes other than the one. And we're gonna try and make that feel good. So just starting out, it could be. And so, as you see, when I was just going, and I was just doing that, you're not really moving or feeling anything. You could think of a beat or think of something, but that may not be what I was feeling or thinking. So it wasn't until I started putting in those ghost notes. Again, just quick fast, a ghost note is just a thud, so you're not having the note come out. You're kind of lightly on the strings, and again, your hand position is it's really how you feel it. you know, and that's what I had to learn the hard way as well, because there, you know, people showed me but I wasn't feeling it the way they were doing it, and it became more of a chore as opposed to, you know, feeling comfortable. So I had to interject it where I would feel it. And so again, for me, I have all the fingers down on the string, and for the most part I have, you know, it could be my pinky, it could be any finger on the note that we're playing. Just another digression. This is something that I learned through observation. No one actually told me this, but a note, you know, for the most part, we're told, you know, you see people use your finger tips on the note, but the note is going to come out. However, you could have it could be on the flesh. It could not be on your tip. It could be here. It could be on your right there, you know, in my palm, as you can see, and the note is still coming out. It's just that, you know, it comes out because it's where you're putting the pressure, and so that's something you can work on, having the different pressure points of your fingers to hit each string. Because a lot of times, if you observe this, you'll see a lot of bass players. They'll be playing something, but their hand is not moving, and you're like, well, what note are they pressing?
Well, I ask that all the time because I see you guys do it all the time.
Yeah, they're just sitting there, and you're like, and you can't figure it out because you're like, what note is it? But you're hearing all these different sounds. Right. It's because they're keeping it right there and they're doing all these different pressure points, and so like with the C again. So I'm not doing that, you know, and it has its place, but again, I'm just going for the feel. And so I just want it to feel good. I don't want people to talk about my notes and note choices and stuff like that. That can be an afterthought, you know, but for the most part, I just want them to feel. I want them to feel what's going on and not distract from whatever somebody's singing or whatever. Again, timing is everything, and there's a time for everything. The Bible even speaks of that. There's a time for everything. And you'll get your time to shine. And when it's your time to shine, you can do as many notes as you want or do whatever. But for the most part, you want the feel to be there. And so again, with these ghost notes, it really helps a lot, where normally if we're doing a groove like that, it might be like... and so on and so forth, you know. And so again, that's just a root 5 shape, and it has a definite feel to it. And what you want to do is you want to get the most mileage out of everything that you do. And so this is on the 1, but when you're playing songs, the chords change, and so you can play that same feel on any note that you go to. So here we're on the 1, 5, so that was just going 1, 5, 4, 5 for those that are familiar with the number system, you know. And so it's the same thing anywhere you go. So again, as you saw, you don't always have to go to the octave. What I'm showing you is not a rule. It's just an example. And so as you saw, when I got to the 6, I just went 6, 5 right there on the 1. And so for the most part, this is what you can do just to enhance the feel of a simple bass note bass line. And so again, if you have any questions, you can hit us up at gospelprogressions.com. This is Mark Elliott signing off. God bless and have a great day.